In the field of human resource management, understanding human psychology is extremely important to be able to manage your business. Because of this, the methods that human resource managers use are very important when deciding how to run a company. In recent years, there have been new methods and strategies presented in the field of human resources that aren't effective. Faulty information impedes proper management and can do a lot of harm to a company and its employees. Some of these methods are based on faulty psychological studies or even completely random ideas someone along the line decided were accurate. One of the biggest new trends in human resource management is using personality tests to determine an employee's value and place in a company. While personality tests might make an interesting conversation piece, they are by no means a scientific way of determining a worker's strengths and abilities. A lot of the tests offer limited sets of questions and answers, and because of this, they don't always capture the scope of personality types. You wouldn't use a horoscope to determine where you should place your employees, would you? Another faulty method is firing quotas, where management is required to remove a certain percentage of the company every year or few years. This assumes that a percentage of employees are not up to par, essentially telling managers they can expect a portion of their workforce to be slacking in their work. On the other hand, if this is not the case, and all the employees are working hard and meeting expectations, if they're always at the risk of being fired regardless of performance, what is their incentive to work for this company? The strategies used in human resource management are the best tools that a leader in the department can have. These strategies determine how a manager will run their department and also how they will lead their employees. That's why it's important for these strategies to be sound, reasonable, and effective. Although these problems may seem overwhelming, they aren't without solutions. One simple solution you can have to make sure that the methods being used in human resource management are valid is to train management to identify these valid sources. Managers should be able to identify which sources they should be using and what may not be credible to use in practice. Another solution would be to have managers actively engage in human resource research and to stay up to date with new practices that are recommended by professionals. It's important to make sure that the methods being used are acknowledged by professionals, since professionals are more likely to know which methods are going to be successful and may have evidence and proof of their success. Managers must also take it upon themselves to make sure that their research is both valid and logical, and to apply the practices that they learn in the most efficient way possible to best fit their workforce's needs and personalities. I'd like to end this video by sharing a clip from a TED Talk given by Patrick Vermeuren, who is a well-renowned human resource professional. In the video, he supports my claim and answers most of the questions I had asked, and I thought it would perfectly encompass everything I had in this essay.
I consulted the scientific literature to see whether these models were theoretically sound and what was the available evidence, be it positive or negative. So of course I started looking at the practices we used at the bank first, where I worked. There was a practice of employee performance scores, giving people a score every year, and we even applied a forced ranking on that. And we also created big pay gaps and paid individual bonuses. And we imposed top-down performance goals on people. And in coaching, I had to attend a training based on John Whitmore's GROW model and, of course, transactional analysis. And I was led to believe in training that people have 4 distinct learning styles. I learned about Maslow's pyramid of need. I learned about the so-called communication rule by Albert Mehrabian, and our leaders had to follow a course in situational leadership by Ken Blanchard, or a training based on the stages of grief model by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and they applied this as a guidance for change. I even had to follow a training in speed reading. Now, what did I find out about all of these models when I applied these criteria? Well, all of these models were quite simply wrong. Now, this left me very confused and sometimes angry. I felt confronted. And maybe by now, some of you have recognized some of these models and have the same feelings already. Because indeed, changing our deeply held convictions can be very challenging. So I continued. In recruitment, I came across practices such as graphology or brain scans allegedly predicting your future performance or your honesty. And I found out that a lot of the questionnaires used ipsative format or the forced choice format, basically making you choose between apples and pears, even if you like them both. And in development, I found out that Myers-Briggs type indicator, or MBTI, was very popular. It's a fad that never dies. And there's also the ever-increasingly popular Insights Discovery. There was the Herrmann Brain Dominance Instrument, making us believe that we have 4 distinct thinking styles and they are located in nice areas in our brain. And there's the Enneagram. And there's the Belbin team roles. And in coaching, I found out that neuro-linguistic programming was very popular, or NLP, but also alpha training, making you believe that you can become more creative or be ever more intelligent by plugging into the universe. And believe it or not, but some people actually believe that you can become a better leader of people by getting feedback from a horse.